High Marshal Varkellen of the Threxian Empire had faced every horror the galaxy could conjure. He'd battled void-born leviathans that carved asteroid belts into dust. He'd personally ordered the purging of 3 machine uprisings. He had even negotiated with the telepathic communion of the ancient Varkellen, whose mere whispers could shred a mind. But none of those trials compared to the report currently trembling in his claws. "Read it again," Varkellen muttered. The intelligence officer swallowed, mandibles clicking nervously. "Yes, honored Marshal. A recon frigate on the outer reach detected an unidentified starship approaching at sublight. Small, lone vessel, no escorts. That much I recall." Varkellen growled. "Get to the troubling part." "Yes, Marshal." The ship did not match any known configuration in the Imperial database. It showed no energy signature consistent with warp, fold-slip, psionic tunneling, or darkstream propulsion. Its hull was metallic, unenhanced, metal, and it moved slowly, drifting almost. Primitive. Primitive? The Marshal's voice rose several octaves. "Then why did the entire fleet go to red alert?" The officer winced. "Because, sir." It was broadcasting. The room fell silent. Broadcasting. "Coordinates, sir, and a message." A single phrase repeated every few seconds. The Marshal's spines tightened. "Which was?" The officer leaned in, voice low. "Requesting permission to make peaceful contact." Varkellen's jaw dropped. Peaceful contact, the most dangerous phrase in the known universe. For millennia, every empire, dominion, and federation understood one fundamental law of galactic diplomacy: no advanced civilization ever initiated peaceful contact without hiding an armada behind the nearest moon. That was how the Valon consumed 12 sectors. That was how the Seraphic Collective infiltrated dozens of governments. Peace was a weapon, politeness a trap, niceness the smoke before the fire. If a species was asking for peace, it meant they had the power to demand something much worse. Varkellen hissed. "Scramble the defense grid, prepare planetary shields, and someone find out where that ship came from." It was not difficult to track the vessel. It traveled slow enough for civilian cargo drones to outpace it. The ship approached in a wobbling, uncertain trajectory, as though its pilot had never flown through deep space before. Occasionally, small puffs of gas burst from its sides, altering course by laughably tiny degrees. The vessel lacked weapon ports. It lacked shielding. It did not even carry visible armor plating. Yet it approached with the fearless trajectory of a superweapon. When it entered orbit, the Empire panicked, and when its single occupant was identified, panic turned to full-blown hysteria. "A biped?" Members of the Imperial Council shrieked. "From a Class O death world, with exposed skin? Are they insane? Are we in danger?" Reports flashed across their screens. Species human, origin world Earth, atmosphere toxic by most standards, fauna hostile, territorial, environmental conditions, lethal to 90% of known life forms, average temperament unpredictable. Unpredictable. The most feared trait a species could possess. The Marshal attended the emergency council meeting only because Imperial law required him to attend anything categorized as an existential threat event. He refused to sit. His tail flicked behind him, restless. "Explain," he barked. The chief xenologist quivered. "The human claims to be a scout, sir. A representative of its species." "A scout?" Varkellen bristled. "A single envoy on a drifting tin can? Impossible. No empire sends a scout alone unless they're so powerful they can afford to sacrifice one without consequence." The xenologist looked as though he might faint. "Or, sir, they're so powerful they don't need to send warships. One might simply be enough." Varkellen snarled. "You believe we're dealing with a hyper-advanced civilization disguised as primitives?" "Possibly," the xenologist whispered. "We attempted to scan his physiology. Our scanners crashed." "Crashed." "Yes, Marshal. His internal biology is so chaotic, so violently unstable, that the scanners flagged it as a biohazard threat." The Marshal froze. That was new. "And what is he doing now?" Varkellen asked cautiously. The xenologist gulped, asking, "If he may come down for a conversation, is he armed?" "We cannot tell, Marshal. He carries a small container, but its purpose is unknown." "Prepare the negotiation chamber," Varkellen ordered, "and bring a psychological containment team." The chamber erupted in alarmed chatter, but he silenced them with a roar. "Whatever the humans are," he growled, "we will meet them with dignity. If they intend diplomacy, we cannot appear weak, and if they intend conquest," he did not say, "then nothing will save us anyway." The human entered the chamber with a casual gait, as though he was strolling through a marketplace rather than stepping into the most fortified building in the Empire. He wore a sealed suit, its clear visor revealing a face disturbingly lacking in armor, just soft flesh, hair and expressive eyes that kept flicking curiously around the room. "Hey," the human said, raising a hand in greeting. "Name's Marcus. Thanks for meeting with me." The council members recoiled. They had braced for telepathic assaults, subsonic intimidation waves, pheromonal dominant strategies, anything except casual friendliness. Varkellen forced himself forward. "I am High Marshal Varkellen. You are a representative of your species?" Kinda," Marcus shrugged. "More like the lucky one who drew the short straw." The chamber's translators lagged, confused. "Short straw?" the Prime Minister repeated. "Is this a weapon?" Marcus blinked. No, just a figure of speech. Means I got picked for this job." The council exchanged suspicious looks. Picked? Chosen at random? Did his empire send envoys by lottery? That implied an absurd degree of confidence. A species that viewed first contact as low risk must possess unimaginable strength. Marcus approached the center table. The guards tensed, prepared to vaporize him. But all he did was place his small container onto the table. "I brought a gift," he said with a grin. "Figured it'd be polite." A gift. Every council member stiffened. Historically, gifts in diplomacy meant one of three things: a bribe, a veiled threat, a disguised explosive. Varkellen's spines rose. "Remain where you are," he commanded. Marcus held up his hands. "Sure, but seriously, it's harmless." The chief scientist edged forward, instruments ready. He scanned the container. His visor flashed red. He stumbled backward. "Marshal," he squeaked. "It's filled with chemical agents, high sugar content, acidic compounds, caffeine. This mixture is... Marcus laughed. "It's called coffee." The council recoiled. Varkellen whispered, "They drink chemical weaponry." Marcus shrugged. "It wakes us up in the morning." The xenologist fainted, negotiations persisted, or rather, they attempted to. Marcus's explanations only deepened the Empire's terror. "So," Marcus said, taking a sip from his steaming cup, "I'm mostly here 'cause Earth finally figured out long-distance space travel. Took us a while. But when we detected your communication beacons, we thought, hey, we should say hi. Say, hi," the Prime Minister repeated weakly. "Yeah, see who's out here, maybe trade, maybe learn some things, maybe share some stuff." "Share what?" Marcus considered. "Well, we've got music, art, and a mean lasagna recipe," Varkellen whispered to his adjutant. "Is lasagna a weapon?" "We can't be sure, sir." Marcus kept talking. "Honestly, we're mostly just excited. Took us centuries to get off our planet without blowing ourselves up." The council gasped. "They survived self-destruction?" one minister whispered. "A species that can endure its own annihilation mechanisms must be unstoppable," murmured another. "How many times," the Marshal asked carefully, "has your species blown itself up?" Marcus winced. Historically, a few times almost, couple of close calls, but we're doing better now." The council shuddered. This creature spoke of near-extinction events as casually as weather. "And your vessel?" Varkellen asked. "It is a scout ship?" Marcus snorted. "No. That thing? It's a junker. Barely holds together. We strapped an engine onto a steel tube and launched it." The council almost screamed. "You travel the void," Varkellen said faintly. "In improvised shells?" "Well, yeah, gotta start somewhere." To the Empire, this was madness. Only hyper-advanced civilizations could afford to use crude tools. They transcended the need for sophistication. "Are there more of your people coming?" the Prime Minister asked nervously. "Oh, eventually," Marcus said cheerfully. "Once they fix the next ship. Right now Earth has, one functioning deep space engine." "One?" Varkellen croaked. The Empire spiraled again. Only the deadliest species sent a single scout first. Only a species supremely confident in its supremacy. Marcus paused mid-sip, noticing their horror. Is something wrong? No, Varkellen said quickly. Nothing at all. The Empire spent the next 30 hours in crisis mode. Debates raged. Do we surrender preemptively? Should we offer tribute? Do we evacuate the inner worlds? Is it too late? They analyzed Marcus's biology. They found redundant organs, rapid cellular regeneration, aggressive immune responses, bone density that could stop low-velocity projectiles, a brain wired for pattern recognition under stress, emotional volatility so extreme it bordered on a weapon, and most worryingly, he slept only 6 hours. Voluntarily. A creature that could function with so little rest? A nightmare. After countless emergency sessions, the council finally summoned the Marshal. High Marshal Varkellen, the Prime Minister said gravely. You will deliver our response tomorrow. Draft our official diplomatic submission. We must tread carefully. Submission, Varkellen corrected softly, or annihilation. The Prime Minister swallowed. Both, ideally. When Marcus returned the next day, cheerful as always, he found the council dressed in ceremonial crimson. The colour of profound humility. Marcus of Earth, Varkellen announced. After deep and careful consideration, the Threxian Empire welcomes peaceful relations with your mighty civilization. Marcus blinked. Mighty? We are honoured by your presence, Varkellen continued. The bravery of your lone journey speaks of unimaginable strength. Lone journey? Marcus repeated, confused. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm the only one who fit in the cockpit. The council took this as confirmation. They are so far beyond us that their vessels require only a single operator. Marcus scratched his neck. Honestly, half the controls don't work. I had to duct tape the navigation panel. The council stiffened. What was duct tape? Some kind of superweapon adhesive? A containment material? A sign of technological mastery so great they built tools from mere strips of material. The Marshal bowed his head. We accept your terms. My terms? Marcus said. Yes, the Prime Minister insisted. Your Empire's conditions for coexistence. We accept them fully. I didn't give any conditions. Of course, the Prime Minister said quickly. We understand your subtlety. Marcus stared blankly. Okay. A ceremonial tray was brought forth. Glowing crystals, ancient metals, and rare minerals from across the Empire. Marcus's eyes widened. Whoa, shiny! It is tribute, Varkellen said solemnly. A token of goodwill. Tribute? For what? For not destroying us, the Marshal whispered. Marcus choked on his coffee. Destroy you? Why would we do that? We came here to say hi, the council murmured among themselves. He is merciful, one whispered. He gives us a chance to align willingly, said another. He is offering inclusion, Varkellen breathed. They completely misunderstood him. Marcus simply shrugged. Well, thanks. I'll take it. Earth'll love these. We've never seen anything like them. The council glowed with relief. They like our tribute. We may survive. Marcus stayed 2 more days, touring the capital with nervous escorts. Everywhere he went, citizens bowed. Gifts piled around him. Restaurants offered him entire menus. Scholars begged him to share human knowledge. Most of that knowledge involved food, music, memes, and an enthusiastic demonstration of a yo-yo. To the Empire, the yo-yo demonstration was considered a display of borderline supernatural physics manipulation. On the final day, Marcus prepared to leave. Thank you for everything, he said warmly. I'll come back once we've built more ships. Shouldn't take too long, maybe a decade. The council took this as a gentle ultimatum. We have 10 years to prepare ourselves to be worthy. Varkellen nodded gravely. We will be ready. Marcus grinned, saluted awkwardly, and boarded his rickety ship. It shuddered as it left orbit, spiraling slightly before steadying. The Empire watched in reverent silence. When the vessel vanished into the void, the council slowly exhaled. Marshal, the Prime Minister whispered. What is your assessment of the humans? Varkellen looked out over the stars. They are reckless. They are unstable. They are fearless to the point of madness. He paused. They drink corrosive chemicals for pleasure. The council shivered. But, Varkellen continued softly, they also smile easily, they ask for permission, they show curiosity, they seek friendship before domination. He looked down. His spines lowered thoughtfully. Perhaps, he said at last, they are not harbingers of death. The Prime Minister blinked. No? Varkellen murmured. I believe they are explorers. Simple, earnest explorers. The council exchanged uneasy glances. And yet, Varkellen added with a sigh, that is what makes them truly terrifying. 3 weeks later, the Empire intercepted a transmission from Earth Command to whoever's out there. Message, sorry about the scout. He wasn't supposed to go that far. Is he okay? Also, hi. The Empire stared in frozen disbelief. Marcus had launched himself into deep space without authorization. It had not been a strategic move. It had not been a test. It had not been an imperial gambit. It was human impulsiveness. High Marshal Varkellen sat slowly in his command chair. Prepare, he said gently. A reply. What kind, Marshal? Varkellen sighed. A friendly one. He gazed at the stars. Because if that was their untrained scout, he shuddered. I do not wish to imagine their professionals. Across the council chamber, ministers nodded solemnly. Humanity, chaotic, earnest, unarmored, caffeine-fueled humanity, had just become the most feared and respected species in the Threxian Empire. All because one man decided to say hello.